Hi guys, I am on a business trip in New York and I was just doing some journal work, and it's a very different way of doing the Start Today journal than I have done in the past, but it's really I'm loving it. So I thought I'd share with you in case this way of doing the journal resonates a bit more than what we currently know. We start with our gratitude work. I did the 5 things that I'm grateful for that have happened in the last 24 hours. But then I've flipped the way that I do the 10 dreams that I made happen. And hopefully y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't, go listen to the last 2 Monday episodes of the podcast and it'll guide you through. I really wanted to bring visualization into the process in a bigger way because I think visualization is really powerful. I think it really calms our spirit, makes our heart beat a little bit faster. It gives us a direction ahead. It gives us that North Star. And when I can see it in my mind, it just, I don't know. I feel like it's cooler. Instead of being really specific with the 10 dreams, I actually just write down areas of my life and then I spend some time, usually about 20 minutes. I put on meditation music. Just go on Spotify, find meditation music that you like. And in a state of gratitude, I just literally start imagining on my journal. Let me show you guys. Can you see this? Oh, wow. So I just did the areas of my life. I know those are backwards. I'll read them to you. So instead of writing it all out, it's look, feel, podcast, book, screenplay, lifestyle, family, work style, music, and health. So let me explain to you what those mean real quick. Instead of going, I want my next book to be a #1 New York Times bestseller, which I do, I would rather visualize and imagine all sorts of possibilities. What does it look like when I hold that book in my hand for the first time? What does it look like when someone comes up to me at the airport and says, hey, I really love the new book. It helped me in this way. It allows me to have a bigger imagination around a single subject instead of one specific goal. Now, 10 years ago, when I started doing this process, that one specific goal really helped me because I was able to focus in more. But I've done this for a super long time. And so I just find that this new way, it feels a little bit more like who I am now. And either way totally works. But maybe this way will help you if you're like a visual, you like using your imagination too. So look is just like, how do I want to look? And I don't mean like, oh, I want to look like a supermodel, but I, silly, pay a ton of attention to how do people's skin look. And right now I need to wash my face. So our skin is an indication of how healthy we are. Our hair is an indication of how healthy we are. So I use a moment to imagine future version of myself who's glowing with health, just vibrating, vitality, pouring out of my skin, right? And then feel, how do I want to feel? Future version of me has energy, vitality, moods are balanced. That's a big one for me because I'm perimenopausal right now. Not happy all the time, but just doing well, feeling good. Podcast. What do I want for the podcast? This is where I imagine, and just so you know, when you're doing visualizations, most of us, when we start, we'll do a visualization and we see it sort of in third person. So we see ourself like we're watching a movie, which is great because anything is better than nothing. But a higher level of being able to really see yourself is to actually see yourself, to visualize in first person, meaning that you're seeing things happening through your own eyes. So for instance, with the podcast, I see myself interviewing my dream guests. I can see them sitting across from me in the studio. I see us having a conversation instead of third person, watching it like a movie. The book, again, I told you ideas for that. Screenplay is a project I've been working on for a really long time. The edits are endless, so I imagine, what will that be like when it's finally fully done? Lifestyle is what do I want my life to be like? How is that going to feel? How often am I going to yoga? How often do I go on a date with my boo? How often do I travel? What's a vacation? So imagination there. Family, I don't necessarily think that we can super affect how other people live their life, but as a mama, I think those of you who are parents, you'll agree that we do have influence over our kids and how well they can thrive. So For the family one, I'm imagining my family just thriving. Everyone's doing great. They're healthy. School's going well. We're really connected as a group. Work style, that's more same kind of thing, but for work. Like, how's my team doing? What are we doing as a team? Music, I've been learning guitar for a couple of years, and that's a big one for me. It's just a personal hobby of mine, but I will literally see my fingers moving on the frets. I will see it getting faster and faster. I'll see my sound quality getting better. And the last one is wealth. I think that we have to call our shot. I know a lot of women especially are not super comfortable seeing financial freedom or claiming like, hey, I want to get out of debt, or I want to be able to buy my own home, or I want to be able to help my parents who are aging, or I want to put money away for retirement, whatever that looks like to you. That's an important piece, and I just sort of imagine those things. What will it feel like? And for me, to be totally honest, this morning I was like seeing my net worth in my bank account. I was just like, okay, what does it look like when it goes to this? And what does it look like when it goes to that? And the important thing if you're using visualization is to stay in a place of it feeling good, it feeling exciting, it making your heart happy. If you start to imagine things that you sort of panic, it makes you feel anxious, like you're having a negative feeling in your body, there's like a cognitive dissonance, which means like you're thinking one thing, but your belief is something else. When those two are sort of disconnected, when you're imagining a future, but like in your spirit, it doesn't feel like it's possible, you're now out of an abundance mindset. You're out of a place of creation and in a place of like fear. And we're never going to be able to properly like guide ourselves forward if we're afraid. If you find yourself doing that, because I do that sometimes, I'll like imagine like a really exciting idea for my future, and then like in the pit of my stomach, it doesn't feel great. I'll just bring it back a bit. Meaning if I said, let's say I was trying to publish my first book and I had this wild idea, like I'm a New York Times bestseller, and that felt scary, like that made me have a weird reaction. Instead of that one, I'd be like, okay, let me just back that dream up just a little bit. For now, we can go forward later, but for now, let's back it up. And in backing it up, what if I just imagine what it's like to hold my book in my hands for the first time? Let's see if that feels good. Oh, that feels good. Okay. So that's kind of where and maybe I pushed it a little further. I'm holding my book in my hands on the Today Show. I don't know if you're not here in the US, that's a big morning show here. Does that feel okay? That still excites me. Okay. I can hold on and let me go. And it's a New York Times. Nope. That scares me. Okay, so just stay in the vision of what feels good, what keeps you excited. It maybe sounds silly. I don't think it sounds silly to you guys, because if you're in this community, you get it. But maybe you're hearing this for the first time and you're like, that's weird. Like imagining where you want to go is not going to get you there. With love, I disagree. I think that we become what we focus on. I think that we can all look at our lives right now, and if we're really honest, we can see parts of our lives, both good and bad, that we're like, yep, I kept obsessing over that thing and I just kept creating more of it. So I do think that what we focus on, we create. And if you don't give your mind something to focus on, if your mind's anything like mine, it'll stream to anxiety. It'll waver to fear. It'll go to what's wrong instead of what's right. So this practice every morning of where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? It really matters. And it, at least in my life, is a big reason why I'm able to get back up when I fall down. I'm able to keep moving forward. And I think it's a big reason why I keep moving my life in the direction I want it to go. I hope that's helpful, guys. Love you. Rooting for you. Have a good day.